All right. Well, good morning. Another episode of Yes Way Jose, and have Compadre. I was watching some of our videos.
Compadre. I think you've called me Compadre.
I do.
before.
I have, and I think Compadre's going to have to stick.
Okay.
So, well, good morning, Travis. How are you?
I've been reading a lot of Westerns, so
maybe that works.
kind of works.
Yeah, it kind of goes into the Mexican
I think there's
flavor.
another one they say compañero a lot or something like that. I just read Lonesome Dove. They say that a lot.
Did you just make up a word like me?
Maybe
You just made up a word.
I think it's already made up.
Yeah. Well, good morning again. Another episode of Yes Way Jose. And Travis, will you tell us our email address so we can get this thing going?
YesWayJoseMail@gmail.com.
All right. And so listen, how's Eli doing? Can we just ask him?
He's doing all right. He got he got reassigned to a different job site, and he works on Fridays again now.
Oh, he does.
Yeah.
All right. So again, he was useless before. Now he's just useless.
Now he's
more.
useless again. Yeah.
All right. No worries. Well, Eli, we're hoping you're doing well, and Travis, and glad to be back. We want to make sure that obviously we got a great guest for you today, and it's going to be a mixture of things: business and politics and campaigns and crazy stuff. So I can't wait to introduce you to him. Mm-hmm. But obviously, we always want to give you an update, right?
Mm-hmm.
Aquatic Park.
Aquatic Park.
We changed the name. That mayor.
Name.
That guy what is that guy doing?
I don't know.
He just seems like he didn't like and I'll tell you why. I have to explain the aquatic park. Because when you say aquatic center, you're just saying it's just water. And when you say aquatic park, it seems like it's got more of a flavor of other things. And the pickleball is outstanding. The courts are ready. We could play pickleball today.
Really?
If we had, we could open up that
I saw a picture of them. They look pretty nice in there.
Yeah,
How many courts is it?
There's 6 courts.
Okay,
yeah, it's going to be really cool. And I know people love the game. And so we think we're going to have annual memberships and people can use that facility. It's going to be a 365. Go for it. And one day when I'm not playing golf and baseball, maybe I'll pick up the...
You're going to learn how to play pickleball?
I know a little bit about the game. I've played it a couple of times, but it looks like it's fun. So it's going to be great. Anyway, so with that said, we're still looking... this episode is going to come out fairly quick. We've got a campaign. May 19th. So, that's the primary here, and that's going to be a big deal. And that's why this guest here is going to tell us about his campaign. But with that said, we have about a mid-May that we're going to open up our town square. Mm-hmm. And then we're obviously going to look at mid-July.
That's starting to look really nice, by the way.
It is looking
now that
nice.
it's getting all the stonework done and stuff, you can kind of see what it's going to look like.
Yeah, it's going to be real nice. And once that landscape gets in there, it's going to be just eye-popping. And what we want people to know about the town square is two important things: history and our appreciation of our veterans.
Yeah.
That's a part of it. And that history and that gateway into the city park, we didn't have a town square. Now we're going to have a beautiful town square for folks to really enjoy what they do down there, all the different events. So we're excited about that. And then obviously late summer, early fall, you'll see that playground and everything open up. And again, we talk a lot about these things, but when we talk about them, and then when you're out in public and somebody taps you on the shoulder and goes, "Hey, we love all that work in the city," and we do. I think it's really appreciative of the kind of things we're doing. And I'm always going to say this: without raising taxes. Yeah, I think it's important for us to realize that we manage the money we have. Kind of comes into the business flavor. So, great day, another day. And listen, every day I wake up, I'm very appreciative of being
every day
here.
you wake up is a good day, right?
It's a good day. So anyway, first of all, I got a great guest. I'm going to introduce him. Good morning, Mike Rice.
Hey, sir. How y'all doing?
We're doing good, man. We just want to we're glad to have you on that. And there's so many different questions I want to ask you. I'm going to ask you 1,236 questions.
We don't have time for that.
We don't?
No.
How about if I rapid fire?
Like 10.
How about rapid fire? Can I just rapid fire the guy?
I still don't think you have time.
One word response.
Yes or no question.
No, yes or no.
I probably should have got an extra shot of espresso in my coffee.
There you go. So then me and you'd be on the same level, right?
Oh, yeah.
Because I think you're already at my level at times anyway. So good morning to you, Mike. First of all, I want Mike to just talk a little bit about his family. There's a history of his family and the contributions that they've made to the city of Shepherdsville and Bullitt County. Love him to talk a little bit about that, but we're going to also talk about something crazy. You know what he decided to do?
What's that?
He started running for office. Isn't that funny? Yeah. Isn't that funny?
That is crazy.
Those people that do things
That's
like
crazy.
that. I mean, who does that?
Why would you want to do that?
Who wants to run for mayor? Who wants to run for magistrate?
That's so much extra
Yeah,
work.
what is that? Who does that? Anyway, so Mike, good morning. So talk a little bit about your family first. I've got some questions for you, but just give us a little rundown. I know most people know you.
So I'm a fourth generation Bullitt Countyan. My grandmother actually lived right here by the railroad tracks, right across from Hardy and Mooney.
Oh, wow.
My grandmother, my mom, they went to, and my dad went to Shepherdsville High School.
Yeah.
It used to be the middle school. The school's not even there anymore.
Yeah.
We've been very involved, and then my uncle's Jim Rice, that was one of the owners of Flynn Brothers.
Yep.
So with our family, we're very involved, and we want to see Shepherdsville, Bullitt County do good because we live here.
Oh, yeah.
And living here, it makes you very involved. We're not an outside company, outside family coming in. We really want to have some direction with the community.
Yeah, you got skin in the game.
We got skin in the
You
game.
live in this community, so it's a reflection of you as well as everything else. And not just to do the work, but what work you do.
Oh, yeah. Well, and the thing, too, with community, with all the stuff with the aquatic center and the center down there.
Aquatic park.
The aquatic park. Sorry.
Wait yeah.
Correct me there.
5 lashes after the show. No, it's all good.
But if you bring people together and things look good and you got different demographics, sports brings people together and you have a sense of community. And with like the farmers market, there's nothing better than going down, drinking a cup of coffee, talking to the farmers and getting to know your people. And that's what it's all about.
Yeah. So obviously with your family being very involved in a lot of the what I call the original foundation of where we're at today. And a lot of people don't get this. And I have to make sure I remind folks, listen, I'm all about small towns. It's just when it changed 50 years ago when you put a turnpike, now major interstate in the country, not just on the side of the city or 5 miles down the road,
Right
you
through
put
the
it right
middle.
through the middle of the city. And when you do that, you change the dynamics of what works for this kind of business model. And on top of that, you're 15 minutes from the airport. What did you think was going to be developed over the year? And that makes it tough. So
Well, and actually, I actually helped build the road out here. I was running a bulldozer in the middle of a winter and putting shell and doing everything else. So I've seen this when it was just woods.
Yeah.
And, my family had a vision, and I've actually seen blueprints that some stuff never came true.
Yeah.
But there was always, you had warehouses, but you also had parks and different things. And I guess with politics, some of that stuff didn't come to the forefront.
Yeah.
And now at least Jose's making some of that stuff happen.
Yeah.
And
Balancing it out a little bit more.
Yeah, and I know everybody's mad about the warehouses and all that, but you got to. The thing if I do get elected when I run for office, I want to make the warehouses more responsible members of the community.
Yeah.
And if you're coming into our county, you have to be committed to the city and to the county
and investment in it.
Invest and with green spaces and that type of stuff.
Yep. And you run and you ride bikes, don't you?
Yeah, so I was a semi-professional triathlete. I've raced for Team USA at ITU. I went to Sweden. I've been to
We
China.
got a healthy guy
Yeah, me
with
too.
us.
No.
Yeah, that's a no. That's a hard no.
I'm a 13-time Ironman finisher.
Look at that, sir.
Wow.
Yeah.
And
I'm like a 10-minute mile guy.
I've raced several world majors on the marathon
Yeah.
side. I was sponsored by Swag Sports Shoes. So
Oh, okay.
I think that's
I know
awesome.
that.
Health is a big deal. I mean, if you're really going to enjoy the quality of your life, how you do that. And again, we challenge everybody to do just whatever they think is comfortable and at least get out and walk. I walk a lot, and we talked about that before. Mike, I guess what the thing is, we talk about your family history here. You've been here your whole life. You've done things to improve your quality of life. You got a family, you got kiddos. And people say you did this, and we were joking about it, but you're all running for Magistrate District 3.
Yes, and the one thing, I want to be a bridge because you got a lot of the older people getting off the fiscal court.
Speaking of bridge, Bell's Mill.
Yeah. Bell's Mill.
It's finally getting done, right?
Yes.
But I am the youngest candidate running for public office right now.
Wow.
And
Oh, really?
Yeah. So, and the thing is, there's stuff I see that was done, and there's stuff I see we need improvement on. And being a business owner, I own Rice Landscaping, Rice Construction Services.
Yeah.
Been in business for 20 years.
So you know how to make things look nice. So
I know
that's
how
important.
I know how to make things look nice, and I've got a good team. And it's all about teamwork, no matter if you're doing triathlons, owning a business, government. It's all about teams. And I think if I get elected, I'm going to work with the mayors, fiscal court, and work with state. And if we all look good and talk sensible going up, I think we can get stuff done on the state level to help with our local stuff.
And Mike brings up a good point because we noticed now, and I want to make sure everybody understands, we talked about the structure because of the way that the interstate runs through the city, and we know that we're going to have a distribution and manufacturing piece, a very vital piece to the community, but how we balance that and where they should be. I think that's the question right now.
Yeah, that's the thing everybody wants to fight about.
And it's a very, listen, do I want a warehouse in my backyard?
No. Right. Yeah, I get it.
No, and nobody else does either. And when you have areas that are in the comprehensive plan like that, you have to work diligently with the folks that are back there. And sometimes it's in a smaller neighborhood, but even those need the considerations and they need to be listened to.
Yeah.
The problem that you run into is that we have still areas that we need to continue to do. The industrial park is what it is, and it's designed, and it's a great facility in what it does. It's a great logistic piece. If you look at the country, Shepherdsville is a great place to be if you're talking about distribution across this eastern half of the country.
Oh, yeah. We're 6 hours from everywhere.
Yeah, so I think that piece goes along with it. But the other piece people need to pay attention to is we have good, hardworking people that are tired of Louisville.
Yeah.
They want a nice community with things to do. They want lower taxes. They want better schools. And they don't want the crime that they see in Louisville now. So, again, it's a lot of big city issues that are always out there. But people want to move here, Mike. And I think that where you're representing, when you mention your age and the outlook, the vision has to be different. It has to be more of your district, but what do you want for the county?
Yeah, and that's the problem. I see everybody fighting for, I don't know, their little piece of the pie. Well, if we go get one big pie, there's going to be enough for all of us. But if you go up there and just nitpick, you're not going to get anything done.
Yeah.
And then, like the city of Shepherdsville, when I was a kid, they used to shut down the road and we'd have a homecoming parade and all that. It was cool. Well, now with the park going in, we can do stuff like that. And you got the brewery down there, the ice cream store.
Yeah, they got beer down there. Did you know that? Salt River Brewing.
You've mentioned
I always
it a
put a
few
plug in.
times.
They have beer. Salt River Brewing Company. I think it's the beer.
Yeah, I think that's the whole
Okay.
point of the place.
But it makes me happy now because for years you would drive through Shepherdsville and you'd be like, this is a dump.
Yeah.
And now it's got life like it used to
It
have.
has life, and I think that's a great part. So, Mike, I think the thing is we want life, and I think that for the folks, and listen, everybody that wants that small town feel, I get it, I understand their passion, emotion, but that's not what this is. You cannot push that in there. Can you bring some small town things like the downtown area at times to do that, and have the things that we put on the food truck invasions, the whiskey, wine, and ale? And doing some block parties, yes, it brings back some of those things that happen. But
I don't think we had the small town feel before. From my experience, it was all just fast food restaurants.
yeah, it's
you know
always
what I
been
mean?
and it was catering to the
Yeah.
interstate traffic. I mean, we had fast food and warehouses that were just the interstate traffic, but we have families that live here, and that's what our focus is. And I think it sounds like it's your focus to bring back some of those things.
Yeah, and that's what I want to do. I want to, like I said, with the kids, with the aquatic center park, whatever we want to call it today.
We'll work on it.
One of the issues up at Hillview is the swimming pool.
Yeah.
And I'd love to see that pool open up. And this is probably not a good thing to talk about, but the pool will never get opened up. It's going to cost, I think, $1 million to get it open up.
More than that.
More than that.
Yeah.
So, I'd like to get some private contractors come in, do some work to the pool, implode it, put a green space, get it prepped for a splash park.
Yeah, I think that would be great because it at least allows the kids to still be around water. It's
better than
and
an
have
empty
a park.
swimming pool.
Yeah. I mean, so again, I know it's a sensitive thing. I think the key for most people in that, Mike, and I think you're onto something there, because the reality is, the city of Shepherdsville is able to do what we're doing. We mentioned that we didn't raise taxes to infuse $43 million into the city. That's not Hillview's mantra as far as where their income is. So to do something on the first phase, to put a beautiful little splash pad and then have a nice parking area, that the kids can enjoy that. Now then, obviously, to enjoy the aquatic park, to actually enjoy that as well, they get balance. I mean, it's very affordable to go.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing with fiscal court. I'd like to have transportation and get some kind of deal worked out with the city of Shepherdsville to bring the kids down there. And you got different levels of people doing sports and stuff, and it'll bring the community together.
Yeah.
And in that way,
we're all Bullitt County.
We're all Bullitt County. And that way you ain't look, oh, you're Hillview or you're Lebanon Junction. No, we're from Bullitt County. Let's be proud of where we're from.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think for you, a lot of people know you and they know your work. So they know you're a good businessman. I think that I tell people all the time, what is it that we want from people that are on council or on magistrates? And it's a blend, right? You want to have, I believe in having veterans on your council. Yeah. I believe that because I think there's a perspective. They've served their country. Well, I want to listen to their voice. A lot of times their organizational skills are really good in getting things done. Because sometimes, like you mentioned before, what I've noticed is the history of Bullitt County in general, up until about 6-7 years ago, was really about just never getting anything really completed. I mean, there have been plans to have another bridge 30 years ago, and yet today we're still fighting having another bridge and another interchange, another thing to deal with our traffic. This all should have been dealt with 25 years ago.
Well, kind of off the subject or whatever, I'm real big with the parklands.
Is that a squirrel moment?
This is a squirrel moment. I'm real big with the parklands.
Uh-huh.
And we just had a kickoff breakfast the other morning I went to. You've got some of the brightest business leaders in the Louisville area coming together, and the parklands is a private deal. There's no city, no government involved, and it's one of the most beautifulest parks around.
Yeah.
And going back to my family's history, when my uncle passed away 2 years ago, and I asked him,
a good man, by the way.
I asked him before he passed away. I said, "What is one of the projects you're most proud of?" And I'm thinking the business park or making Shepherdsville, more modern. He said the parklands.
Yeah.
And it took me a minute to register. So I was out doing one of my runs, and you got a path you run along, and then it just opens up, and you see Broad Run Park. Mm-hmm. I see all these kids out there playing.
Yeah.
Different demographics, different economic backgrounds, different whatever. They're just having fun.
Yep.
All the little kids smiling, flying kites and stuff. And I said, that's what it's all about. So now when you got down there at City of Shepherdsville, I used to run through there when I was training.
Yeah.
But now you don't have that vision. Jose will stop, or whoever will stop and go, wow, this is what it's all about. Yeah. And it puts things in a different perspective when you stop and actually think about that.
All right. So we're going to put the 5K in the park. So we're working on it now. You're going to walk towards the river. You're going to go back past the baseball
I know
fields.
it's probably a short walk for you, but it's what
5Ks hurt.
Yeah. So, but I think the fact that when you start talking about those things, those are important. I mean, we are trying to balance it. I think one of the first TV spots I did, I made this comment: we're not going to be a glorified truck stop anymore. Shepherdsville's not going to be that. We have families that live here, and we want to make sure they get the opportunity. And I think that's why I think the reason why I like your campaign is because I think you're thinking like that. You're thinking about, first of all, being fiscal. And I think Jerry, Judge Summers, you guys have worked on that. The finances are in place now. Yeah. It was a struggle in his first term, and in this second term, they've got a lot of things in place now. But it's time to look at what is the next phase for Bullitt County, and how does that work with LJ and Hillview, Mount Washington, and Shepherdsville.
Well, and I think, too, a lot of people get into politics. It lets them define who they are.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a business owner. I'm a father,
sure.
Husband. That's what defines me. Being in politics, it's just, I'm at the stage I want to give back. The older I get, my business kind of runs itself. It does, but I mean, I'm still there. But it's
sure.
My son works for me and that type of stuff. So but now I'm at the stage I want to give back to the community and donate my time.
Yep.
Yeah.
Somebody said it actually pays. I don't even know if it pays.
Yeah, it does. It's $213 plus tips. I know. No matter. Yeah, it's again, and that does stop some business folks from wanting to do this, because what you learned is, when you do these things, you do it because you think it's like, somebody asked me, why are you doing it? Legacy. I know when I leave this earth, I wanted people to say, hey, I really want them to say, you know what, he really cared about this community. He was bringing things here. And it wasn't just for my benefit, it's for all the families here. And so when you do things for the whole and not the one, you really can feel comfortable when you're done. You can say, we did a good job. We did a good job bringing things here now for the families that desperately needed this. I mean, there was nothing here. People were leaving here in droves. Now, why not Shepherdsville, right? You got an aquatic park that's here. You got a beautiful city park that's being built, a town square.
Yeah, now we have the opposite problem. We have people coming here in droves.
Yeah, which is a good thing. Yeah, so we have a lot of things in place, like the housing pieces in place, 1,200 homes over next apartments and complexes. All that's going to be built in the next couple of years. So when you have that, you got housing, you've got job opportunities. There's probably going to be about 500 jobs the next 5 years coming here. Everybody's going, oh my God, the roads. Yes. So why aren't our folks in Frankfort? Why aren't the folks that, not just our folks, but the rest of the people that represent some of these other areas, why aren't you thinking about Kentucky? And Bullitt County is a significant part of the growth over the next 5 years.
Well, and this might be an unpopular statement, but 44 should have been widened 50 years ago.
Yeah.
So it's not, all these people wanting to bash Jose. Or
I think that's a pretty popular statement, actually.
Yeah. I mean, we're just trying to play catch up now.
Yeah, it is. And that's funny that you say that, because our running joke, I've had some different podcasts I put on here about facts versus feelings and opinions and that. What we try to tell people is, first of all, know the roads that you're complaining about. I mean, listen, I get it. We're all mad. And I don't have any different experience than you do. I'm sitting in that traffic. I don't have a helicopter running me around this town.
Yeah.
So my car is in traffic just like everybody else's. And I need people to understand there are things that should have been done 25 and 30 years ago. And those people back then were trying to fight that small town, keeping it small town. But you can't with that interstate.
Well, this goes back to the pool. So I'm a member of JCC. Mm-hmm. So if I leave my house, it takes me 35 minutes, 40 minutes, and I live in Mount Washington. So if I'm going to go there and I'm going to swim, say, 2,000 yards, it's going to take me 30 minutes.
Yeah.
So now I'm at, say an hour and a half, and then time I change, come back, I'm 3 hours to go to the swimming pool. Well, at least now I'm coming down here to the Shepherdsville and swim, get my workout, and not waste my whole day.
Right.
Well, we think that we see all the accommodations it's going to make, not only for the community here, for Shepherdsville and the surrounding community, but it's going to be a state impact too. We feel like that we can have venues here, different competitions. We're going to put on a number of venues. And we're going to have community services, too, for our veterans, our senior citizens, and for moms and dads for their kids. We talk a lot about the kind of things we want to engage this in. This is not a profit center. Okay, this is about making sure we have something in the community. It is about our revenue piece, just covering the operational piece when it comes to this aquatic park. But I need people to really understand. Most people get it. I get it that people are frustrated about traffic, but in perspective of where it's at, we've got some good dialogue. And I mean, we hear it all the time here. Mayor's fault. I-65 is my fault.
Yeah.
And so we hear the ridiculous.
It's about time you did
comment.
something about that.
I'm gonna get a whistle and go out there and direct traffic on 65, Mike. So
It does stink that like all of our roads going through town are all state roads. Like it seems like we have an inordinate amount of state roads.
Well, I tell you what, I made a mistake one time. I used to live in Green Acre subdivision,
Mm-hmm.
and I decided I wanted to ride my bike to the YMCA. Now I'm averaging 25 mile an hour on my bike. I made it down there and made it home. I said, I will never do that again. That is one of the most craziest things I've ever done in my life.
Yeah.
Like it just scared me to death. But
I think the thing I think that the state legislators and giving them some, because they get the same kind of grief, right? And more people understand that these roads are state regulated and federally regulated. When they understand that, it's kind of limited for us. We can scream at the top of our lungs, but we're now getting some attention. I think there's some real good things that are happening. I think that people need to know that we are working on it, and we're working with our state legislators. I think the key in this, though, traffic will always be that. Water, 65% of the city is in a floodplain. Yeah. It's just in a fishbowl.
Well, and with construction, I mean, the stuff we're going to do now, it's going to be 10 years before it's done.
That's exactly right.
And people don't understand. We've got to go up there, and like I said, if I get elected and we get a good group of people, it's about the future. That's what it's all about. It's about our kids. Mm-hmm. Now, in the meantime, people need to slow down, get off their phones.
I
mean, it's crazy.
I'm a busy man, I've been over the last 5-6 years, I've done a much better job. Ask my wife, because I mean, I used to be on my phone, and like everybody else, we're driving, and you can't do that. It's just so fast paced. And again, we all need to be able to own up to our honesty as far as driving. Stay focused on the road. And when we see these things, we got a challenging road like 44 where everybody's driving that fast and everybody's trying to turn. I mean, you don't have many. You better pay attention.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, and go back to the small thing. There's a lot of farmers still in the community.
Mm-hmm.
They've got their farm equipment out on Sunday morning.
Yeah.
I don't get mad about that. I'm like, somebody's going to work. That's awesome.
Yeah.
We can eat this week. So people don't respect that stuff. They want the fast pace or the small. You got to respect the guys out in the farm equipment or the older guy going to get McDonald's coffee. I mean, that's just enjoy it.
Yeah. Yeah. I think the one thing I want people to know is we do better when we work together and talk about it instead of complaining. And in the social media part, it has its benefits. But I need folks, and I challenge everybody, if you listen to this podcast, we're trying to outcast you. We just need you to find better venues of saying, if you got an idea, hey, bring it to us. Mm-hmm. Bring it to fiscal court. Bring it here to City Hall. We want you to know we want to hear. And there's been some good ideas that we've picked up over the last 3 years. But we've been in office 3 years, and Mike, I'm wishing for you, I'm rooting for you. You're going to see that we need people to come together first and try to come up with solutions instead of it being kind of the mob rule and the torches and the pitchforks. We need that to change a little bit.
Well, the thing I've discovered, especially being a business owner and getting a little bit older and more mature, if you come in there and start yelling at people, nothing's going to happen.
Yeah.
So you got to come in with a plan and talk and say, instead of saying, I don't want this to happen, okay, what's the alternative?
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
frame it as a question. Why is this happening?
Yeah, why is this happening?
Find out more about it.
Yeah. It's like when you come in on a job site, you're going to come in, you're going to strip the topsoil and all that, and you're going to build a building. Then you got to look at the landscape. And, I think with the warehouses and stuff, you get, like now the landscaping, they've got more landscaping plans and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Because when I go to Indianapolis and stuff, some of the business parks are more hidden with the beautiful trees and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And we're finally getting there.
Yeah.
And that was some of the mistakes that have been corrected.
Yeah, there's been something, and he used a word I haven't figured out yet, mature.
Mature.
He used that word. I think I got to get there. I can't even spell it, much less get there. No, all kidding aside, I'd rather be just young at heart and young in mind, because I think this is what's happening. I really believe in the family. Like, I think you made a great point. We are in office today to build a better future. What we're trying to do, especially when it comes to infrastructure, this stuff that we're talking about today is not going to be done for 5 and 10 and 20 years from now. I mean, Preston Highway, when they did all that was a 20-year project. Mm-hmm. But we have to get to a point. We have to. And I think that we're going to see there's some urgency from the state level. We got to get with the governor. We really need people to understand we're all about Kentucky. Yes, it is about Bullitt County, and we need help right now. We need everybody come on board, give us some funding over the next 5 years to get some of this infrastructure. Because you go throughout the state, there's some places that are smaller than us, don't have major interstates. They have better roads than us.
Yeah.
Why? I'm not being mean.
Good question.
So our voice has to be stronger, and it has to be together. Yeah. Like you mentioned, we'd love to see a few, the mayors and some magistrates and some judge executive to come out there and get to Frankfort and go like, hey, we need you right now.
Well, and I think, too, I know there's a lot of laws about getting X amount of people together and stuff, but you got to brainstorm.
Yeah.
You got to be able to get a cup of coffee and talk about 5 and 10 year plans and just have a plan. I mean, not talking official business, but hey, I'd like to see this happen or whatever, and get people excited.
Well, I can tell you what I've seen normally is that if we're having a dialogue, we're off to a good start.
Yeah.
If we're just yelling at each other or accusing people of things, I think that's it's the best one is the good old boys.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I can't find them.
Have
you seen it?
I haven't met them.
I haven't seen them.
Unless I am one. I don't think so, though. I don't think so.
I don't think you are.
I don't think so.
Going back to my family history, my uncle, there's people that wanted to destroy my uncle and get mad, but I'm the nephew. I'm the one that saw him out grilling or fishing and having all the stress of the world because, they had all the employees and he had the community and the people didn't understand.
He's a good man.
They didn't see the end game.
He was a good man.
And there's a thing, you can be mad about something, but then when it gets personal, you got the business Jose and then you got the personal Jose that's a dad and everything else. You got to separate that. And I've seen that.
I think that's a good point. I think it's a conceptual thing that I hadn't thought about a whole lot because we took these positions on. And one of the things I've always wanted to say, well, if you're so frustrated about it, what are you doing to be a part of it? So be part of the solution. It doesn't mean that you don't have a very valid complaint.
They're commenting on Facebook, Jose.
It's just not productive. I think if we're going to, and it seems like you see more and more of that. And so from a social media standpoint, going back to this is not a financial investment to be an elected official. No. It's also not glory because Lord knows we hear all that stuff now. But I will say this, stay focused on the task of building a better future and it will come to fruition. It just, again, I get frustrations. I mean, I don't judge anybody for getting mad about it, but let's work together to get it fixed. And again, a lot of this, I could always say, well, it's not my fault. This should have been done 30 years ago. Well, but I'm the mayor today, so I'm willing to take that responsibility on. But it is important for people to realize we've got to get together.
Oh, yeah. Well, and something else I would like to do if I get elected, I'd like to start some shadow programs with the schools, with Bullitt East, North Bullitt, Bullitt Central, and get these kids to come to fiscal court.
Oh, yeah.
And go and come to these meetings and not be scared because the problem is, like I said, I was very fortunate being around this stuff and I'm learning a lot, but most kids have never been around. If they had to go to a fiscal court meeting, they're scared to death. These people are not going to eat you. Come and...
Well, I'm not sure about that. I'm just kidding.
But if you...
But they just don't know what it is. They don't know what they don't know what they're walking into. So it's like,
And I've had to go into some zoning meetings before, and I'm like, oh, this is all bad. But now, once I sit back and I learn how not to make it personal, the process, and what you got to do, and that's what it's all about communication.
Yeah, I do think right now that I think we need to change. Again, this is nothing against anybody who's ever been an elected official, but the dynamics have to change. First of all, these jobs are more complex today. Yeah. If you look at the regulations, you're looking at and how you have to work and navigate through things. You have to be principled, though. Unfortunately, our state and our federal level officials they're not consistent. You always wonder why they move one way or the other. And some of it's money. I mean, we know that's out there and the influence in that. But I think for us at the local level, we chose to do these things to make a difference.
Well, and it's kind of like me. I feel like I've got a good support group, and I know enough people because I don't know the answer to everything. Nobody does.
No, right.
But if I can get the right people and talk to them and make an opinion, if you're doing a budget for the fire department or whatever, go to the fire department, talk to them, go to the police department. My brother was a retired police officer down here at Shepherdsville. So you go talk to the people and boots on the ground and you figure it out, and then you get a good team, and then you go to these meetings and you make educated decision.
So one of the things inviting you to this and having you on the show was for people to listen to the fact you've taken your business skills, you've taken your community involvement. This is your town. This is your town, meaning the county in itself. And because you're invested in that, I mean, I'm not saying I'm a transplant. 18 years I've been here, but this is my home. This is where I'll be the rest of my life. And because of that, I want to make that difference. You want to make that difference. But when people listen to you talk, at least you're looking at it from a genuine side of what you know already and how you can use your experience, your business skills, because that's important. I think in being in these positions. So, Mike, I tell you, I think that, I wish you the very best on the campaign. I'm rooting for you. Not against anything about other opponents, but I think when we're talking about bettering the community, I think Mike Rice can make that impact. And that's what I wanted to say to you today.
Oh, yeah. Well, and I really appreciate that. And like I said, it's going to be Jose. It's going to be Jerry. It's going to be everybody. And people's all got their opinions, but we just got to work together.
Yeah. And tell them what you're running for again.
Magistrate, District 3.
And what's District 3?
It's kind of a weird shape. It's up toward, I'm actually in Mount Washington, but it's a pie shape. And then it comes on the backside of Bells Mill Road, goes up to Hillview. Zone.
Bells Mill Road. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, somebody said they're building a bridge. I don't know.
I've heard something about it.
And we can only pray.
But it's up that area and then goes up to Zone.
Okay.
So that's the area.
It's a good. I mean, the districts are solid. I do think, from Judge Summers' standpoint, I've known him a long time, and it's a cooperative effort. I mean, I'm obviously working with my council to make sure that we're always focused on what's important for the community. That's what we want to do. I mean, we're going to have differences in that. That's okay. But as long as the focus is Shepherdsville for these folks and for you guys, the county, I think you got a good opportunity here to really make a difference, and I'm excited for you. So. With that said, obviously, obviously your family. We talked about your business. We talked about your running for office. Is there anything else you want to know about Mike Rice before we conclude?
I'm an honest. I do what I say I'm going to do.
Yeah.
My grandmother always told me. She said, "If you're going to do something, do it to the best of your ability, or don't do it at all."
That's right.
Yeah, and that's right. And that's how I live. And I can lay my head down every night and know that I've gave 100%.
Well, I listen. I appreciate you being on the show. We do have I don't know if we've ever. Can a guy running for campaign do this?
Yeah, I think so. I think he could probably.
You think he can handle this part of the show now?
I think so.
This is tough. Gracie knows all this. This is tough. So,
I know how to solve one problem at any city council meeting or fiscal court. Bring puppy dogs.
Yeah,
yes.
That helps.
Golden retrievers.
He's been there.
Yeah, puppy dogs are where it's at.
He's been
everybody
to
happy.
social meetings.
Keeps everybody happy. So I do want you to know. First of all, we love having you on the show, Mike Rice. And make sure. Hey, the email address one more time before we finish.
YesWayJosemail@gmail.com.
All right, and we want people to know that and again, Mike, as we get going, and we're wishing you the very best. May 19th will be here before you know it.
We'll be here
And
before I know it.
we're going to wish you the very best and support you in your vision for being a bigger part of what happens here. You're a businessman, but as an elected official, you'll see that there's an opportunity to do some really good things with that.
Oh yeah, well, and I guess kind of in a closing thing, with my business, my landscaping company, I help buy the Bullitt East Championship football rings.
Oh wow, okay.
I donate a large sum of money on that, and I donate to the tennis team at Bullitt Central. So I really give back to the community.
Well, we appreciate you doing it. Anyway, all kidding aside, we were talking about when we always conclude with our podcast, we always have one last thing we do. It's kind of our sign off. It's the 1, 2, 3 love, peace, chicken grease. So, Mike, you think you could say that with us? Don't just practice in your mind.
Don't think too hard about it.
Don't think too hard. All right, so here we go, Mike. First of all, Mike Rice, running for Magistrate District 3. We appreciate you being on the show. Mike Rice, landscape and construction. So we know that you do both of that. So thank you for being on the podcast. And are you ready, Mike?
Well, let's try this.
All right, 1, 2, 3. Love, peace, chicken grease. Thank you, Mike Rice, for being on the show.
All right, thank you, guys.
See you now.